through your intervention. With gratitude, we offer this prayer in your name. Amen.
Amen. So, ayan, it is very important to be with our Almighty sa ating journey as we take the review and our board exam. So, ayan. So, for the next part, so for the introduction of the lecturer, so I'll honor for the introduction for our lecturer. So, we're very honored today. We have a very young and passionate lecturer. So our guest lecturer today is a young and accomplished agricultural and biosystems engineer whose passion for education, innovation, and service continues to inspire the next generation of engineers. So she is a licensed agricultural and biosystems engineer, and currently she serves as a faculty member of College of Engineering at Laguna State Polytechnic University, LSPU, Siniloan campus. She earned her Bachelor of Science and in Agricultural and Biosystems Engineering from Laguna State Polytechnic University, Siniloan campus in the year 2023 and successfully passed the board exam the same year. So, committed to continuous professional growth, she is currently pursuing her graduate studies in biosystems, machinery, and power engineering, further strengthening her expertise in agricultural mechanization, automation, and sustainable engineering systems. As an educator, she teaches various agricultural and biosystems engineering courses, including farm power and machinery, engineering mathematics, and other engineering-related subjects. She is actively involved in developing instructional materials, conducting research, and implementing extension program that contribute to quality engineering education and student success. Beyond the classroom, she has demonstrated exemplary leadership through her active involvement in Philippine Society of Agricultural and Biosystems Engineers, where she has spearheaded numerous activities, academic extension, and community-based initiatives. So she also served as a program organizer and technical director for various university and engineering events, showcasing her expertise in event management, live production, and multimedia streaming. Her professional interest includes agriculture machinery, precision agriculture, agricultural automation, and engineering education. She has organized and facilitated review programs, technical seminars, and student development activities designed to prepare aspiring agricultural and biosystems engineers for agricultural practice and licensure examination. So, driven by her unwavering commitment to excellence in teaching, research, and community service, she continues to champion innovation, lifelong learning, and sustainable agricultural development while inspiring agricultural engineers to make meaningful contributions to society. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor and privilege to introduce our guest lecturer and our very own Isabias Board of Trustee and the chairman of this Bayanihan Lecture Series, Engineer Jomarin Angela C. Estrada. So let us give her a warm virtual applause. Yan.
Good morning po, mga bayaw. Yan. Naririnig po ako? Is my
Yes,
audio clear po ba? Yan. So, good morning po sa ating lahat. So, let me share my screen po. Okay. Visible na po?
Yes, Bayaw.
Ayan. Ayan. So, good morning po mga bayaw. So, today, ako po ay naatasan na i-discuss ang overview. Ano ba ang ABELE? At paano nga ba tayo magpe-prepare for the board exam? Kasi as we all know, masyadong malawak yung ating mga topics, yung pinag-aralan na for 4 years ng college ay baka iniisip natin. Ano ba yan? Sobrang daming dapat pag-aralan. Nakaka-pressure. Ano ba yung dapat kong unahing pag-aralan? Paano ba ako mag-aaral? Paano ba ako magpe-prepare for the board exam? So today ay didiscuss natin ano nga ba? Paano nga ba yung magiging efficient yung ating pag-review? Ano? Okay. So, for the overview, so the yung ating board exam ay syempre regulated siya ng PRC through the Professional Regulatory Board of the Agricultural and Biosystems Engineering. So, meron tayong, yung PRC ay nagwo-work together with the regulatory board ng ABE, which is ngayon ay led by Honorable Sherwin Obaldes. So, sila yung tao behind the board exam, sila yung nagpe-prepare, sila yung nag-e-ensure na yung board exam natin ay nasa tama pa, na updated sa current na mga, lalo na sa mechanization, sa kung ano ba yung kailangan natin na para sa profession natin. So sila yung na-make sure na quality and tama yung mga lumalabas sa board exam. Ano? So, the licensure exam plays a critical role in protecting public welfare by ensuring that engineering services related to agriculture, food production, uh, water resources, energy systems, machinery, environmental management, and post-harvest technologies are performed by competent professional. Ano? So, kaya tayo may licensure exam para make sure na yung mga nagsaserve ay qualified and competent na ma-perform nila kung ano ba talaga yung duty nila as a professional engineers. So for the legal basis, so it is from the ABELO, the Republic Act 10915 mandates that every applicant who intends to practice agricultural and biosystems engineering in the Philippines must successfully pass the licensure examination administered by the Professional Regulation Commission. So specifically, Section 17 of the Act prescribes that the examination shall assess the competencies required for entry-level professional practice across major engineering disciplines within agricultural and biosystems engineering. So, yung pagbo-board exam natin, hindi lang siya for formality, ganyan. So, meron talaga itong pinagbasihan na batas na para mag-qualify ka na mag-serve as agricultural and biosystems engineer, you need to pass the board exam muna para maging qualified ka na mag-apply lalo na sa mga government agency, di ba? Hindi kadalasan. Talaga ang hinahanap nila is yung mga licensed professional. Okay, so for the qualification, so paano mo nga ba masasabi na pwede kang mag-take ng board exam? So una, syempre kailangan ikaw ay isang Filipino or kung foreigner ka man, ay dapat ay inaalaw na yung bansa na yon na mag na doon sa profession natin na maging abe, na inaalaw nila na maging qualified abe kahit na hindi sila galing sa Philippines. So, for education, syempre kailangan graduate ka ng BS-ABE or BSAE. So, or any equivalent degree from a school, college, or university recognized by the Commission on Higher Education or the CHED. So, for character, so the person must be of good moral character. So, given the qualification, syempre, paano ba nila malalaman na qualified ka? Syempre, meron tayong mga requirements. So, ito na yung, i-take note nyo na to mga bayaw kasi kadalasan ito ay dinidiscuss sa review centers. Ano ba yung mga kailangan mong i-prepare para makapag-file ka na makapag-take ng board exam? Kasi dito madalas na lilito yung iba na nagpapabalik-balik sila sa PRC kasi maling requirements yung nadala nila or di kaya naman ay kulang. So una, kailangan yung dalhin yung inyong original and photocopy ng inyong Certificate of Live Birth issued by the Philippine Statistics Authority or the PSA. So both photocopy and original copy ay kailangan po dala-dala nyo sa pagpa-file nyo ng board exam. So, yung original, i-check lang nila yun with the photocopy and then ibabalik naman sa inyo yung original and iiwan nyo lang sa PRC yung photocopy. So, original and photocopy of the PSA issued marriage certificate or contract kung kayo po ay married na female, gawa sa surname po. So same lang sa birth certificate ay i-check lang yung photocopy sa original and then ibabalik po sa atin yung original. So, original or certified true copy of the diploma and transcript of records in BS in Agricultural and Biosystems Engineering, BS Agricultural Engineering or its equivalent degree conferred by higher education institution in the Philippines or an institution of learning in foreign country, duly recognized by CHED. So, the TOR must have scanned picture with remarks for board examination purpose only. So, ayan, meron din, nung nag-file ako dati ng board exam, marami kaming nakasabay na hindi sila nakapag-proceed with filing kasi maling TOR yung nadala nila. Kasi ang TOR po natin ay iba-iba. Upon request sa ating mga registrar sa school, may ano po yan, may remarks. So make sure na pag nag-request po kayo ng TOR sa inyong university na pinag-graduatean, sasabihin nyo po na for board exam. And make sure po na yung TOR na ibibigay sa inyo ng inyong campus ay meron po siyang picture nyo on the top right side. Meron po yung passport size na picture. So hindi po siya dinidikit. So nakaprint po siya kasama ng TOR sa yung picture na yan. And make sure po, pag binigay po sa atin yung ating TOR, i-check nyo po if nagre-reflect doon na may nakalagay for board examination purpose only. And make sure din po na clearly visible yung year of graduation po natin. Kasi yun din po yung isa sa mga chine-check ng PRC pagka nag-a-apply. Kailangan po kasi ay nagmamatch yung ating year of graduation sa TOR, sa diploma, and sa application form natin. Next is, kailangan po natin dalhin yung original original or the CTC ng ating diploma and TOR. So, pwede nyo pong dalhin yung original nyo and then magdala po kayo ng photocopy ng TOR para sure. Kasi yung iba ay hindi po mapayag na hindi dala yung original. So, dalhin nyo na lang para sure. And, paalala mga bayaw, hindi po natin iiwan ang ating original na TOR sa PRC. Hindi po nila, ibabalik po sa inyo yan and magiging hassle pa yan pagka nangyari na naiwan nyo yung original na TOR nyo doon. Kasi kung saan man po kayo nag-file, ang magiging ending niyan, ang pagkiklaiman nyo na po niyan ay sa main office. Parang nangyari siya sa mga kaibigan ko na nag-file sila sa Lucena and since hindi nga namin alam kung anong gagawin namin is ang naiwan nila is yung original na TOR nila. So, para makuha nila yung original na TOR nila, pinuntahan pa nila sa main office ng PRC. So, medyo hassle siya, lalo na kung medyo malayo tayo. Kami kasi Laguna lang, medyo malapit. And that time, nasa Manila naman po. Kaya nakuha ko. What if from other parts of the Philippines pa, na malayo talaga. So, mahihirapan tayong i-claim yung ating original na TOR. And bukod sa kailangan natin siyang i-claim, kailangan nating ipasa yung photocopy. So, medyo hassle siya. So, yun, tandaan nyo yun mga bayaw na hindi nyo pwedeng iwan yung mga original na yan. Ang original lang na iiwan natin sa PRC ay yung ating Certificate of Good Moral Character. So, ito po ay pwede nyong kuhanin sa barangay, sa church, and kadalasan po ay yung nire-release ng school na Good Moral Certificate ay allowed po siya. So, ayan, sabi ko nga, original po yung pinapasa. So, kung feeling nyo may paggagamitan pa kayo nung good moral nyo, ipa-photocopy nyo na kasi kukuhanin na ni PRC yung original copy. And then, at isa pang iiwan natin na original copy is the NBI clearance. So, kailangan ay valid po at least 6 months on the date of filing of application. So, alam natin na ang pagre-request ng NBI ay medyo matagal. So, ngayon pa lang mga bayaw ay asikasuhin na natin yung ating mga requirements. So, kailangan ay valid pa yan. So, and sabi ko nga, iniiwan po yung original na NBI clearance sa PRC. So kung may paggagamitan pa kayong iba pag-apply ng trabaho or kung saan nyo man siya gagamitin, ipa-photocopy nyo na po para hindi nyo kailangan mag-request ulit sa NBI. Okay? So such other documents as may be reasonably required by the board. So ang isa pa yata nilang hinahanap ngayon pagpa-file ng board exam is the COPC. Ano yung sa CHED na ang kadalasan naman yun ay sa school yun, sa school siya hinihingi, yung COPC certificate. So, yan ang ating mga requirements. So, nakuha ba yun, mga bayaw? Ano naman tayo, o react tayo kung nagets natin yung mga requirement. Make sure na kumpleto ang requirements bago tayo mag-file para hindi tayo ma-hassle magpabalik-balik kasi mahal ang pamasahe. Sayang ang oras na imbis na nagre-review, nagpapaulit-ulit. And nakaka-stress kasi iisipin mo pa, baka abutan ako ng deadline, baka hindi na ako makapag-file, baka hindi ako makapag-take ng board exam. So be prepared po tayo sa ating mga requirements habang close pa ang filing. Since ang filing po natin ay mag-start pa sa August 20 if I'm not mistaken. So i-prepare na natin habang maaga. Next, so paano naman tayo magse-set ng appointment ng ating pagpa-file ng board exam? So sa PRC po, lahat ng transaction ay by appointment. So paano tayo makakapag-request ng appointment? So ayan mga bayo, meron tayong website si PRC na tinatawag na LERIS or the Licensure Examination and Registration Information System. So you can access that through online.brc.gov.ph. So pwede na kayo mag-create ng account dyan mga bayaw. Para ready na. So pag i-create nyo ng account, kailangan nyo lang naman dyan is your full name. Ayan, mag-fill up lang kayo dun sa kanilang website. Full name, gender, civil status, birthday, email address, password, and then password ulit. So, pag gagawa kayo ng account sa Leris, make sure na yung gagamitin yung email ay yung ginagamit nyo talaga na email. Yung email na na-access nyo talaga. Kasi, yun na talaga yung forever na account nyo sa PRC. Ma-hassle magpa-recover ng account sa Leris. So, dyan sa Leris, ito yung mga online services nila. So, ang una yung gagawin dyan, mga bayaw, ay syempre yung examination application. So, ayan yung online application. So, hindi ko siya mapapakita kasi hindi pa nga open yung ating filing. So, hindi pa siya nagre-reflect kay Larry. So, pag nakagawa na kayo ng account,
January 25 ako.
hello, pa-mute po. Ayan. So, pag nakagawa na po tayo ng account, magsa-sign in lang po tayo. Kailangan nyo din po pala dyan ng picture. And mga bayaw, tandaan po, ay yung ilalagay po natin dyan na picture. I-make sure po natin na professional looking na tayo. Kasi, yung picture na naka-attach natin sa Leris, yun na po yung magiging picture natin sa ating license once we pass the board exam. So, dyan na po nila kinukuha yung mga information natin, pati yung mga picture. So, ayan, dyan tayo mag-file and magpapa-appointment sa kung saang PRC man tayo magfa-file ng ating board exam. So, may selection naman doon kung saan mga available and then yung appointment date. So, sa appointment date, make sure mga bayaw na hindi lang tayo dumating on time. Make sure na mas earlier pa tayo sa time ng appointment natin. Kasi mahaba ang pila and para din tayo, mauna din tayo sa mga sa pila para hindi sayang yung oras. Although wala naman silang noon break, ay mas okay na rin yung maaga tayong natatapos. Na hindi tayo may stress na ano ba yan, naabot pa ba ako sa appointment ko or kailangan ko pa ba bumalik sa susunod para lang makapag-file. So ayan, i-explore nyo na mga bayaw yung Leris, gumawa na kayo ng account para pagdating ng open ng filing ay makapag-pa-appoint na agad kayo ng appointment nyo sa PRC. Okay po? Okay. So, dito na tayo sa Agricultural and Biosystem Engineer tables of specification. So, why should every reviewee study it? So, ano ba yung importance ni table of specification? Or ano ba talaga si table of specification, di ba? Ayun nga yung sinasabi ko kanina. 4 na taon tayong nag-aral ng college. And yung 4 na taon na yon, Or yung iba ay 5, yung sa old curriculum, di ba, 5 pa. Ngayon ay 4 na lang. Yung mga lahat ng pinag-aralan natin during our college days, alin ba doon yung sasama sa board exam? Alin ba doon yung kailangan kong pag-focusan? Paano ba ako mag-aaral? Alin yung dapat kong unahin? Alin yung pwedeng sa padulo ko na aralin? So, dito sa TOS natin, malalaman natin, ano nga ba yung kailangan nating pag-aralan? Okay. So, ang ating board exam may 3 subject areas. Yung tinatawag natin na Area 1, Area 2, Area 3. Kung nababasa niyo yan online or naririnig niyo sa mga nauna na sa inyo ng mga bayaw na nakapag-board exam na, maririnig niyo madalas yan. Anong mahirap na area? Ganyan, sa kadahirapan. So, for the Area 1 is the Agricultural and Biosystems Power, Energy, and Machinery Engineering. So, that's 32% of the board exam. So meron niyang 100 items and yung weight niya sa total na magiging rating mo is 32%. So Area 2 is the Land and Water Resources Engineering, and then the Area 3 is the Agricultural and Biosystem Structures, Environment Engineering, and Bioprocess Engineering, which is 36%. So siya yung may pinakamalaki na weight. Okay? So review area. So sa subject 1 or the Area 1, yung 32% na yon is nahati into 3. So, first is the Agricultural and Biosystems Power, Energy, and Machinery Engineering. So, it's 18%. So, siya yung pinakamalaking percentage sa Area 1. So, it is a combination of conceptual understanding and computation. So, it focuses on engine principles, tractor operations, machinery performance, field capacity, fuel consumption, machinery testing, and mechanization concept. So, dito, kailangan nating i-master yung mga formula related to power, efficiency, and machinery capacity. Okay? Next is, for 8%, meron tayong project management, feasibility study, preparation, evaluation, research, development, and extension. So, primarily, it is analytical and management oriented. So, it focuses on project planning, feasibility studies, engineering economics, financial indicators, research methodologies, extension approaches, and information systems. Question often test practical decision making. So dito na yung kailangan na natin ng malalang analytical skills. Next, for the last 6% ng Area 1 is the laws, professional standards, and the ethics. Ito ay more on theory, concept-based, more on focus sa ABE Law, Code of Ethics, Professional Responsibilities, Signing and Sealing Rules, AFMA, AFMEC Law, Environmental Laws, and other regulations governing ABE practice. Understanding principle is more important than rote memorization. Hindi lang natin kailangan memorize yung mga batas. Hindi lang dapat tayo magaling mag-memorize. More importantly, kailangan naiintindihan natin siya. Next, for the Area 2, so Land Water Resources Engineering, meron siyang 18%. So, one of the most computation-intensive areas. Na sinusumpa na yan ng karamihan na lagi na lang yung Area 2. Ang hirap mag-compute. So, it emphasizes irrigation and drainage design, hydrology, fluid mechanics, pumps, water requirements, and soil-water relationships. So, mag-practice solving engineering problems quickly and accurately. So, dito sa area is marami talagang computations. Dapat masanay tayo na mag-solve ng problems ng mabilis, pero hindi lang dapat mabilis. Kailangan tama rin yung kino-compute natin.
Ano kasabay niya?
Ayan. So, mga bayaw, reminder lang po, paki-stay mute po tayo during the discussion. Thank you po. Next is the project management, feasibility study, preparation, evaluation, research, development, and extension. 8% naman po siya ng Area 2. So primarily analytical and management oriented. So it focus on project planning, feasibility studies, engineering economics, financial indicators, research methodologies, extension approaches, and information system. So kagaya kanina, it test practical decision making. So yung mga naman dito, project management, in relation naman siya, syempre sa Land and Water Resources Engineering. Yung kanina kasi ay sa machinery. So next is the mathematics and basic engineering principles. So foundation subject that supports all engineering areas. Expect direct problem solving involving algebra, trigonometry, calculus, statistics, mechanics, thermodynamics, strength of materials, chemistry, and physics. So familiarity with formulas and engineering fundamental is essential. So dito, kailangan alam natin yung basics. Kailangan alam natin yung mga foundation na, yung iba kasi sabi, madali na yan, di ko na yan nare-reviewin. But, yun yung mali nung iba na nakalimutan nilang, masyado sila nag-dig deep, nalimutan na nila na pag-aralan yung mga basics, yung mga fundamentals. So, wag natin kakalimutan yung mga fundamentals, yung mga foundation subject. Kasi, mahalaga sila. Kasi kung wala yun ay hindi rin tayo magiging successful sa mga deeper na topics. Last is the area 3. So, siya ay yung may pinakamalaki nating percentage na 36%. So, nahati lang siya sa dalawa. So, 50-50. Agricultural and Biosystem Structures and Environmental Engineering is 18%. So, it requires both engineering design concepts and practical application. So, it focuses on agricultural buildings, ventilation, farm electrification, structural principles, waste management systems, and environmental regulation. So expect interpretation of plans, specification, and design criteria. So sobrang naka-emphasize na dyan. PAES, PAES, PAES. So dyan na maglalabasan ang mga PAES na yung pinapaaral sa atin ng college na PAES na tamad tayong basahin ng mga standard kasi napakadami. Diyan siya maglalabasan. Next is the agricultural and bioprocess engineering. So, strongly application-oriented with moderate computation. So, dito is concentrate on post-harvest system, drying, storage, refrigeration, cold storage, psychometrics, heat transfer, food processing, and value-adding technology. So, understand both process flow and equipment operation. No? So, dito ay may computation pero hindi ganun kadami. So, more on concepts din and yung mga kailangan naiintindihan natin yung mga processes sa equipments. Okay. Wait lang. Screen. Okay. So sa subject A, syempre yung 32% na yun, nahati pa siya sa different topics. So, syempre yan ay 100 items per area. So, sa 100 items na yun, ito yung mga key topics. So, first is the Agricultural and Biosystems Power Engineering. So, key topics, internal combustion engines, engine parts and functions. So, 2-strokes versus 4-stroke engines, the engine cycles, engine operation and maintenance, farm power sources, so human power, animal power, mechanical power, renewable energy, fuels and lubricants, fuel properties, combustion, principles, lubrication system, and fuel efficiency. Okay. So, ayan siya. So, sa 32% ng area 1, siya ay 4%. So, out of 100 items, meron 12 items na manggagaling sa Module 1, sa Agricultural and Biosystem Power Engineering. So, yung 4 na items na yun, nahati pa siya sa 4 na subtopics. So, identifying the parts and know the function of each part in internal combustion engine. So, analyze the operation and repair maintenance of internal combustion engine, estimate the power available from different sources of power in the farm as well as the commercially available farm engines, and determine the most appropriate and efficient physical, chemical, and thermodynamics property of the fuels and lubricant. So yung 4% na yun, nahati siya dyan sa 4 na yan, na tigwa 1%. So, 3 items from that. So, meron tayo ditong 6 na key study. So, meron tayong remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. So, ayan, mahaba siya. So, pwede nyo siya basahin mga bayaw. So, pag sinabi natin remembering, so recall. Direct recall lang natin, as in word by word, maalala lang natin, ma-memorize lang natin. So, merong one item na recall for the identifying the parts, may one item for estimation ng power availability, and then the determination ng appropriate and efficient physical, chemical, and thermodynamics properties of fuels. So sa understanding naman dito, hindi lang basta kailangan mong ma-recall yung information, kailangan maintindihan mo yung informations. And then, applying. So, kung mapapansin nyo, sa applying, may marami. So, dito na yung, gagamitin mo yung na-recall mo na information, yung naintindihan mo na information, i-apply mo na siya sa situation, so mga situational question. So, kung makita nyo dyan, meron siyang 6 items na nag-fall under applying. And then, analyzing. So, it is understanding, comparing, organizing, and deconstructing, interrogating, and finding. I-analyze natin. Hindi lang natin basta, hindi lang yung kung ano yung nabasa natin as is na. So, ano pa ba yung underlying meaning doon sa mga tanong, doon sa mga topic. So meron tayong evaluating and creating, pero sa part na to ay wala namang maglalabas sa question na gano'n. So, ayan. So, example, sa recall facts, which part of an internal combustion engine converts the linear motion of the piston into rotary motion? So, direct recall, sige mga bayaw, pwede nyo i-type sa chat yung inyong sagot para magising tayo. Ano ba yan? Ano yung nare-recall natin? Anong part ba yan na combustion engine? Is it cylinder, crankshaft, carburetor, or spark plug? Sige nga mga bayaw, try natin na magsagot. So type nyo sa chat box natin. Ano ba yung part na yan na combustion engine? Okay. So the correct answer is the letter B, the crankshaft. So ito, direct recall lang. Maalala lang natin yung mga facts. Ano ba yung mga facts na pinag-aralan natin? So yun yung recall. Okay. Next is, nandito pa rin tayo. So, understanding naman. So, why is regular oil change important in the maintenance of internal combustion engines? Sige nga po mga bayaw. Type your answers in the chat box. So, letter A, it reduces fuel consumption. Letter B, it prevents overheating of the radiator. Letter C, it minimizes friction and wear of engine parts. Or letter D, it increases the compression ratio. Sige po. Type in your answers, mga bayaw. Ayan, very good mga bayaw. So, sabi nila yung pinakamahaba daw na choices, yun lagi yung sagot sa mga exam. So, hindi ganun mga bayaw, hindi natin iaasa sa lock ang ating board exam. So, the correct answer is letter C. So, it minimizes friction and wear of engine parts. So, in the term understanding, so, hindi dapat alam lang natin na kailangan mag-oil change. Kailangan alam natin, bakit nga ba? Ano ba yung properties ng engine oil? So, alam natin na si engine oil ay naglubricate ng mga moving parts. So, ano ba yung So, naglulubricate siya ng moving parts. So, ano yung effect niya sa ating engine? So, from the choices, nakita natin na nandyan yung word na friction and wear. So, alam natin na yun yung may relation with the lubrication. So, masasagot na natin yung tanong. Okay, next is applying. So, use knowledge in practical problems. So, a diesel engine has a rated power of 50 horsepower. If 1 horsepower is 0.746 kilowatt, what is the approximate power outputs in kilowatts? So, ayan, use of knowledge in practical problems. So, ilabas sa mga calcul, mga bayaw, at i-compute natin. So, sa example natin dito, given yung conversion, pero sa board exam po, wala pong lumalabas na ganyan na question. Ano? Kailangan po natin tanda yung mga conversion natin. Ano? Ayan, sige, type in your answers mga bayaw. Okay, the correct answer is letter B, 37 kilowatts. So, ayan, no. Yung mga practical na ano, kasi 'di ba? Kita natin, sobrang basic naman po ng problem na ganyan na direct ano lang, direct computation lang. Guys, may mga ganun talaga sa board exam. Although mahaba yung tanong, kailangan talaga nating ah, i-understand maigi yung tanong kasi minsan sobrang haba ng tanong pero yung kailangan mo lang is yung last part ng question kasi nandun lang yung pinakatanong. So, kailangan wag tayong ma-pressure sa mahabang tanong. Kailangan lang is basahin lang natin siya at intindihing maigi. Ano po? Okay, so analyzing. So which fuel property is most critical when comparing gasoline and diesel engines for farm use? So is it the octane number, the cetane number, the flash point, or the viscosity? Sige po. Type in your answers po mga bayaw. Sa mga bayaw po natin dyan sa Facebook Live, pwede rin po kayo mag-drop ng sagot nyo sa comment section natin. Ano po? Sige po. Okay, the correct answer is wala pang tama. Sige po, mga bayaw. Ano po kaya yung pinaka-critical na property ng fuel? Okay. So the correct answer is letter B, the cetane number. Ano? So, ang cetane number is related into the ignition. So, ignition quality of diesel fuel. So, higher cetane number generally supports easier starting and smoother combustion in diesel engine. So, sabi dyan, compare, organize, and deconstruct. So, hindi pwedeng pipiliin lang natin ano ba yung familiar sa atin na term. Ano na, yun na nga familiar sa atin yung term. Alam dapat natin na hindi siya yung term na yun na hinahanap natin. No? Compare natin, ano ba yung meaning niyang mga yan? Pag nakakita tayo ng mga choices, ano? Ay, alam ko tong word na to. Pero hindi to yung isasagot ko dahil alam ko to. Kasi nga, alam ko nga siya. Alam ko na hindi siya yung hinahanap. Ano? So, octane number is important naman for gasoline engines because it measures the resistance to knocking. So, flash point naman ay related sa safety during handling and storage. And then, so yung viscosity naman is sa flow. So, pagka kasi farm equipments for farm use ng engine ay pinakamahalaga na maganda yung ignition quality ng engine. So, ano ba yung anong property ba yung nag-i-indicate ng ignition quality ng isang fuel? So, yun ay yung cetane number. Ano po? Nakuha po yun mga bayaw? Okay, next. Module 2. So, nasa area 1 pa rin tayo. So, it is the agricultural and biosystem mechanization, planning, maintenance, management, and manufacturing. Ano? So, key topics, mechanization, mechanization planning and management, mechanization programs and projects, extension and marketing strategies, tractor operations, preventive maintenance, agricultural machinery service centers, fabrication and manufacturing of machinery. So, ito yung may pinaka-large na portion sa subject A. So, paano natin nasabi? So, siya ay 8% ng 32% ng board exam natin. So, 8% siya ng board exam. So that contributes to 25 items. So, nakita nyo dyan, sobrang daming numbers. So, tignan nyo yung applying niya. Meron siyang 4, 5, 9, 10, 11, 12 items. So, almost half nung, nung 8% ay galing sa application. So, meron na rin ditong creating, generating, designing. So, ano ba yung subtopics niya? Plan and manage agricultural and biosystems mechanization programs and projects. Prepares and manage marketing and extension strategies of agricultural and biosystems mechanization projects. Supervise tractor operation, trailing works, plowing, harrowing, and other relevant field operations, including its safety. So, direct preventive maintenance procedures, troubleshooting, and housekeeping for tractors and its farm implements, and supervise the establishment, operation, and maintenance of agricultural and fishery and equipment service centers, including the AV machinery operators and techniques. And number 6, supervise the manufacture and fabrication of agricultural and biosystems machinery and equipment. So, kung makikita natin dito, pinakamaraming item is yung plan and manage agricultural and biosystems mechanization programs and projects. So, nakita natin, doon yung may pinakamataas na number of items. So, pwede nating i-conclude na, ay, kailangan ko itong unahin kasi kailangan marami akong topic na makover dito sa part na to. So, yun yung importance nitong breakdown ng TOS natin. Para alam natin, ano ba yung malaki yung distribution. Ayun yung kailangan kong unahin kasi madaming topic yung lalabas tungkol doon. Okay. So, for creating, so design, plan, and invent. So, a cooperative wants to improve rice production efficiency. As the engineer, you are tasked to design mechanization program. So, what should be your first step in planning? Sige nga po, mga bayaw, let's see your answers ulit. So, letter A, purchase tractors and harvesters immediately. Letter B, assess the current farming practices and the needs of the cooperative. Train operators on machine safety, or letter D, prepare marketing plan for the project. Sige po, type in your answers po in the chat box and in the comment section. Okay, so ang correct answer natin dyan is letter B. So, kailangan muna natin i-assess yung current farming practices and the needs of the cooperative. So, sa mga ganitong tanong, kailangan nating planuhing maigi. 'Di ba? So, nagpaplano ka pa lang. So, nagpaplano ka pa lang tapos dapat ba bumili ka na kaagad? Kailangan ba i-training mo na ba agad yung mga mag-ooperate? What if na-train mo na yung mga operators mo and then upon assessment nung kailangan ng cooperative, yung palang na-train mo is for larger machinery, pero hindi pala kaya doon sa area, yung large machinery na kailangan pala is yung mga maliliit lang. So, sayang yung pagtitrain. So, prepare a marketing plan for the project. So, hindi ka makakapaggawa ng marketing plan pagka hindi mo alam kung ano yung kailangan ng cooperative. Okay? So, very good tayo dyan, mga bayaw. Lahat ay tumama. Okay. So, you are designing an extension strategy to promote mechanized corn shellers in rural communities. So, which would be the most effective and encouraging adoption? Letter A, distribute brochures with technical specification. Letter B, conduct field demo showing time and labor savings. Letter C, provide free fuel for the first month of use. Or letter D, require farmers to attend mandatory training sessions. Sige po. You can type in your answers po ulit. Okay. So, ang pinaka-best answer natin dyan ay letter B. So, lalo sa atin sa Pilipinas, diba? Tayo ay mas natututo pagka, or mas nahihikaya tayo pagka nakikita natin yung actual na demo. Kasi pag namigay tayo ng brochures with technical specification from the word technical, tandaan sa rural communities tayo mimigay. So, baka yung ibang technical specification ay hindi nila masyadong maintindihan. Or di kaya naman, hindi naman nila basahin yung mga brochure kasi nga, it's time consuming. So provide free fuel for the first month of use. Baka naman kasi, after mo mag-provide ng free fuel, sa kasunod na month ay wala na, hindi na magagamit. Hindi rin naman pwede na i-require natin yung mga farmers na mag-attend ng training sessions. Kasi isipin ng ibang farmers na bakit ako a-attend dyan, sayang yung oras. Imbis na nagtatrabaho kami, ay a-attend pa kami sa mandatory training session. So, pinaka-effective is magawa kayo ng field demo. Okay po? Next, Module 3. So, machinery specification, testing, and evaluation. So, machinery standard, technical specification, cost estimation, power requirement calculation, capacity and efficiency, machinery testing and evaluation procedures. Ayan. So, siya ay same kanina, 25 items din. So, first subtopic is the plan, manage agricultural by system mechanization project. So, same lang siya kanina. Actually, same. Umulit. Yan. Next. So, next module is the automation, instrumentation, and control. So, key topics, sensors in agriculture, precision agriculture, controlled environment agriculture, instrumentation, meteorology equipment, weighing scales, and calibration. So, dito ay meron na tayong 4% or 12 items sa board exam. So, 2% for application of agricultural and biosystem sensors such as, but is not limited to, computer models for controls and automation in the agricultural and fishery production industry, biological system, automated controls, precision farming system, agricultural safety and controlled environment agriculture, and another 2% for meteorology equipment such as weighing scale and other meteorology equipment for agriculture and biosystem engineering sector. So, tig 6 items siya. So, mapapansin nyo, pinakamarami pa rin talaga sa applying. Mga bayaw. So, ayan. So, apply. So, a greenhouse uses temperature and humidity sensor connected to an automated control system. So, if the humidity drops below the set threshold, what action should the system perform to maintain optimal plant growth? So yung mga dyan, mga nag-automation, basic sa inyo yung ganyan na question. Situational. So, sige po. Let's see your answers, mga bayaw. Okay, letter A, turn on the exhaust fan. Letter B, activate irrigation and misting system. Letter C, increase the greenhouse temperature. Or letter D, shut down the ventilation system. Okay, so the correct answer is letter B. So, activate the irrigation misting system. So, nag-drop na nga yung humidity. So, bakit natin ito-turn on yung exhaust fan? E di lalong bumaba yung humidity sa ating greenhouse. So, hindi rin natin pwedeng i-increase yung temperature kasi lalo ding magda-drop yung humidity natin. And hindi rin natin pwedeng i-shut down yung ventilation system. So, the best answer is to activate the irrigation and misting system para umangat ulit yung humidity sa loob ng ating greenhouse. Yan. Next. So, a farmer uses a digital weighing scale to measure harvested corn. So if the scale shows 25.6 kilogram and the moisture content is 14%, what is the approximate dry weight of the corn? Yan, nilabas na ulit ang mga calculator. Sige po, mga bayaw, compute po tayo. So, una natin diyang kailangan is i-recall ano ba yung formula na kailangan natin gamitin. Okay, the correct answer is letter A, mga bayaw. Ano? So, sa mga ganitong question, kailangan nating tandaan na mahalaga kung naka-express ba si moisture content in wet basis or dry basis. Ano? So, yan yung ating computation. So, dry weight is equals to yan, 25.6 times 1 minus 0.14. So, 100% kasi nga meron daw tayong 14%, kaya siya 0.14. And then, ayan, direct computation lang po sa ating calculator. So, ang lalabas dapat na sagot ay 21.9 kilogram. So, ma'am, ni-round off na po namin siya into whole number. So, kung lumabas, nasa choices yung hindi naman naka-whole number, wag tayong mag-round off into whole number kasi nasa choices naman na merong hindi naka-whole number. Ano, so, yun pa rin yung pipiliin natin kahit na yung ibang choices ay naka-whole number na. Okay po? Okay, next, project management, research and extension. So, project management concept, feasibility studies, project valuation, research methods, extension programs, GIS application, agricultural and information system. So, ayan, medyo mabigat din siya, 7%. So, meron siyang 22 items na nahati into 4 subtopics. So, meron tayong 2% for bakit ano to? Oh, typo siguro to. So, manage the implementation, operation, and maintenance of agricultural and biosystems engineering projects and agricultural and fishery machinery service center. 2% for preparation of feasibility study and valuation of agricultural and biosystem engineering projects. 2% conduct research, training, and extension projects, and 2% for application of agricultural and bioinformation system for agricultural and biosystems engineering projects such as geographic information system and other information management tools. Okay, so dito, medyo naglalaban si understanding and application. Ano, so, marami-rami din tayong kailangan na i-apply na mga situational questions na lumalabas sa part na to ng board exam. Ano, na magko-compute din talaga tayo. Hindi lang basta recall ng recall, kailangan na iintindihan, kailangan kaya nating i-apply sa real scenario. Okay? Next, Module 6, the key topics natin is Agricultural and Biosystems Engineering Law, the IRR of ABE Law, Code of Ethics, Contract Documents, Signing and Sealing Rules, AFMEC Law, AFMA, CARP, and Local Government Code. So, ito na ang ating mga batas. So, medyo mabigat din siya ay 19 items ng board exam. So, 6% siya. Ano? So, 3% is to be able to know the Agricultural and Biosystems Engineering Law and its implementing rules and regulation, Code of Ethics, and other policy issuance of the Professional Regulatory Board of ABE in the practice of profession. So, prepare bid proposals, contract documents, and other legal documents necessary in the practice of agricultural and biosystems engineering profession and the rules on signing and sealing. And then the other one is to be able to know the relevant laws, policies, issuance related to the practice of ABE profession, such as, but not limited to, AFMEC law, the AFMA, National Building Code, CARP law, Local Government Code, environmental laws, the PABES, as well as the professional regulatory laws of applied profession. Ano, so dito na yung ano ba yung mga terms na nakikita natin sa mga batas such as shall, may, must, required, prohibited, authorized, so dito na yung mga lahat ng batas, no? At hindi lang dapat natin sa ulo yung batas, kailangan naiintindihan natin siya. Kasi pag naiintindihan natin siya, kaya natin siyang i-apply sa situations. Okay? So makikita natin dyan na pinakamataas pa rin talaga sa application and hindi tayo aabot sa application kung wala tayong understanding. So makikita natin ang total po. So for the total sa ating area 1, so 32% yung total percentage weight of distribution niya. So ang number of items ay 100. So pinakamataas yung domain na applying. So 50 points. So that's half na agad nung area 1. So ang dami talaga ng question about application. Mga situations na kailangan nating maging mabusisi. Ano ba yung dapat? Ano yung hindi dapat? Okay po? So, meron tayong 9 questions for remembering, 20 questions for understanding, 10 questions for analyzing, 4 questions for evaluating, and 7 questions for creating. Ayan. So, dito ay area 2 na tayo. So, for the hydrology, ito yung first na topic natin, first module. So, key topics, hydrologic cycle, hydrometeorology, precipitation, evaporation, evapotranspiration, watershed hydrology, runoff and infiltration, groundwater aquifers, water quality. Sorry. So, water quality, ayan. So, ito ay 2% out of the 32. Total of 8 items sa board exam. So, two items for describing the hydrologic cycle and hydrology in engineering. 2 questions for describing the principles of hydrometeorology, weather and hydrology, precipitation, evaporation, and evapotranspiration, and weather instruments. 2 items for the principles of watershed surface hydrology, runoff, infiltration, seepage, and percolation, stream flow, soil erosion, and sediment transport. And then another 2 items for describing the theories of aquifer system and lithography, water quality analysis. So dito, more on remembering and understanding. So, ayan. So dito na yung kailangan nating magbasa ng magbasa. Kailangan nating maalala yung mga information para mas maintindihan natin. So kung makikita nyo, pinakamadami dito ay remembering kasi maraming terms, maraming mga definition of terms na lumalabas sa part na yan ng board exam. Next, so irrigation and drainage engineering. So ito naman ay surveying, fluid mechanics, groundwater hydrology, pumps and turbines, irrigation systems, drainage designs, pressurized irrigation system. So, ito na yung pinakamalaki naman sa subject B. So, which is 8% or 25 items. So, 1/4 na ng area 2 ito. So, meron siyang 6 na subtopics. So, first is the application of theories and practices in leveling, mapping, triangulation, topographic route, and construction surveys and global positioning system or the GPS. So, second is apply the theories and principles of fluid mechanics in design, construction, and management of agricultural and biosystems engineering, production systems, and facility. Third is to apply the basic theories of groundwater hydrology in planning water resource project. Fourth, analyze the design, construction, operation, and maintenance of hydraulic machinery and facilities, such as pumps and turbines. So, pump size determination and specification. Plan design, construct, and operate, manage irrigation and drainage system and facilities. Design small canal structures for the conveyance of irrigation or drainage water. And lastly is to apply the theories and principles in designing pressurized irrigation systems and facilities. So dito na talaga yung computation heavy. na part. Sabi nga nila, area 2 daw yung pinakamaraming computation, di ba? So, eto na yung part na yon na talagang kailangan nating mag-memorize ng maraming formula, ng maraming theory, ng maraming ah, laws ng mga computations. Ano? So, dito lumalabas na pinakamarami pa rin yung applying, pero marami rin yung analyzing and evaluating. Ano? So, talagang ito na yung talagang mapapa-lord ka na lang. Ano, sobrang haba ng question, sobrang haba ng computation, pero hindi ka pwedeng magtagal sa isang item kasi limited lang yung time for every area. Ano? So, ayan. So, wait lang po. Pwede po ba tayo water break ng mga 5 minutes? Isasaksa ko lang ang aking laptop dahil siya ay nalobat. So, water break po tayo mga bayaw. Siguro mga 3 minutes. Thank you po. Okay po. We're back. Okay. So, for the next part, so ayun nga, sabi ko nga po kanina, dito na yung maraming computations, maraming theories na dapat alam natin na kailangan natin i-apply sa computations natin. Okay, next is soil and water conservation engineering. So, key topics, soil-water plant relationship, watershed management, farm ponds, reservoir, earth dams, spillways, erosion control, vegetative channels, and then the drainage system. So, ayan. So, that's 6% and total of 20 items. So, under that is kailangan alam natin how to explain and apply the basic soil-water plant relationships in crop production, apply the principle of hydrometeorology in the planning and design and management of water resources facilities. So, apply the principles of watershed hydrology in the planning and design of agricultural and biosystems engineering facilities. Design, construct, and manage farm ponds, reservoir, including earth dams and spillways. So, design of soil and water control structures and facilities of stream banks and sloping cultivated agricultural areas. Design vegetative lined water conveyance channel and maintain water conservation works, drainage, and erosion system. Okay po. So, ang pinakamalaki dito is yung sa design and construct. So siya ay 8 items and 4 items doon is under ng application. Marami talagang computation sa area 2. Next, aquaculture engineering. So, aquaculture facilities, water quality management, fish pond engineering, and aquaculture system design. So, ayan, meron lang siyang isa. So, siya ay 2% worth 4 items. So, apply the theories and principles of aquaculture engineering to ABE projects and technology. So, mataas dito is yung understanding. Ano po? So, meron lang tayong isang recall, meron dalawang understanding, and then isang application to situations. So, dun kasi is kailangan lang nating ma-understand yung mga concept natin. Ano po? Next is the fundamentals of agricultural, fishery, ecological, and environmental sciences. So, first is the crop science, crop protection, soil science, animal science, fisheries, ecology, and environmental science. So, it is 6%, total of 18 items for area 2. So, 10 items for the description. Describe the principles of crop science, crop protection, soil science, and animal science. So apply the principles of fisheries and aquatic resources, including offshore hatcheries. And lastly is apply the principles of ecological and environmental sciences in the conservation and proper management of agricultural and biological resources and management. So, madaming recall, ibig sabihin maraming definition of terms na lumalabas, maraming terminologies na kailangan nating maalala at matandaan. And then, meron ding isang understanding and 6 na application to real life situations. Next, mathematics and basic engineering problems. So, ito yung pinakamataas naman sa ating area 2. Isa sa pinakamataas. So, dalawa sila. So, that's 25 items or 8%. So, key topics, algebra, equations, exponents, probability, permutation and combination, trigonometry, analytic geometry, differential calculus, integral calculus, differential equation, engineering statistics, basic engineering sciences, mechanics, strength of materials, thermodynamics, heat transfer, chemistry, physics, and engineering economy. Okay. So, ayan. So, hindi na sama yung kanyang mga subtopics, pero ito na rin siya. So more on computations na talaga to. Kasi mathematics na eh. So for area 2, kagaya ulit kanina, pinakamataas ulit si application. So 20 items for recall, 10 items for understanding, 50 items or half the area 2 for applying, 8 questions for analyzing, 7 for evaluating, and 5 for creating. So, gaya nga nasabi namin kanina, yung mga basics, yung mga fundamentals ng mathematics, hindi natin pwedeng kalimutan, hindi natin pwedeng ipagsantabi, kailangan din natin siya i-review kasi mataas yung kanyang weight sa board exam. Next, for area 3. So, agricultural buildings and structures for module 1. So, agricultural building design, structural components, program of works, cost estimates, ventilation design, water supply system, farm roads, farm ridges, construction management, greenhouses, and rice processing centers. So, ayan, tandaan natin na yung area 3 yun yung may pinakamataas na weight distribution sa rating natin sa board exam. It is 36%. So, yung 9% nun ay nag-fall sa agricultural buildings and structure. So, 25 items for this part. So, meron tayong 10 items for evaluate plans and designs, technical specification, program of works, and cost estimates of agricultural buildings, which includes the site development, floor plans, elevate cross-section, foundation plans, roof farming framing plan, ventilation requirements, pest and rodent control, water supply requirements, and facility. So, 6 items for application of theories and principles of engineering, mechanics, statistics, dynamics, and strength of materials in the design of agricultural buildings and structures. 3 items to evaluate plans and designs, technical specification, program of works, and cost estimates of farm-to-market roads, farm bridges, and other horizontal agricultural structures. 3 items for manage the construction, operation, and maintenance of agricultural buildings and structures with the application of ERT, CPM, and CPES, and etc. So 3 items for apply the theories of the and principles of psychometrics and the designs, construction, operation, and management of rice processing centers, greenhouse and other structures, and facilities for the production and processing of high value and commercial crops. Ayan. So, kita natin na meron ulit siyang 25 items. So, sa application ulit siya, pinakamarami. So, maraming situational na problems. May mga computations na madami-dami din. Marami din tayo mga formulas na kailangan tandaan. Next is farm electrification. So, electrical planning, lighting design, demand load computation, electrical distribution, wire sizing, circuit breakers, electric motors, generators, electronics, and instrumentation and control. So, siya ay 4%, which contributes to 10 items for the board exam. So, nahati ulit siya sa 3 subtopic. So, 5 items for the design of farm electrification plans with technical specification and cost estimates, of electrical systems for agricultural and biosystems buildings of or farmstead to include lighting, calculation, demand of load for the buildings, central metering and distribution, selecting of service conductors, appropriate sizing of wire, determining the wattage requirements of outlets, voltage requirements of circuit breakers and the main circuit breaker, layout of convenience, outlet, lighting and branch circuits, and one-line riser diagram. Next is to 3 items. Evaluate plans, designs, and technical specification and cost estimates, and supervise the operation of and maintenance of electric motors and generators. And then 2 items, to apply the theories, principles, and practices of electronics instrumentation and control in the design, construction, and operation of agricultural engineering facilities and projects. So, pinakamadami pa rin, as usual, ay sa application. Ano? So, may encounter tayo mga situational questions talaga na pipigayin talaga yung utak natin. Ano? So, pag kasi applying, hindi lang siya automatic computation eh. Minsan, ano din siya, talagang yung situation na mapapatanong ka na lang na tama pa ba yung ginagawa ko sa buhay ko. Ano, parang ganon. Ano? Next. So, environmental engineering. So, it's 5% or 15 items of the board exam. So, nahati siya sa 5. So, 3 items is to evaluate plans, design, technical specifications, and cost estimates of agricultural fisheries, waste management systems, and facilities consisting of biogas digester, waste treatment lagoons, organic fertilizer production, and composting. So, 3 items for application of governmental regulation and technical requirements in the design, operation, and maintenance of agricultural and fisheries waste management facilities to include solid, liquid, and air. Next, 3 items for management of and construction, operation, and maintenance of agricultural fisheries, waste management systems, and facilities. And 3 items again for the application of the principles and methodologies of forest engineering, and another 3 items for the analysis of the impact of CDM, climate change, global warming, and other in relation to agricultural fisheries and waste management. So ayan, kalat-kalat siya. Merong understanding, merong applying, merong evaluating, merong analyzing. So, medyo malawak ang topic na ito kasi hindi lang siya nag-fall into one domain. Next, for the highest contribution, the agricultural and bioprocess engineering. So, key topics, processing plant design, value-adding technologies, post-harvest systems, grain handling, drying systems, storage system, psychometric, heat transfer, thermodynamics, refrigeration systems, cold storage design. So ito na yung pinakamataas with 39 items. So, more than half na more than 1/3 na hindi pala more than half, more than 1/3 na nung area 3, So, it is 14% with, sabi ko nga, 39 items, which na-breakdown siya na 15 items to evaluate plans, design, technical specification, and cost estimate of agricultural and fishery processing systems and facilities to include value-adding processes. 10 items to apply the principles and practices in the primary processing, handling, and storage of agricultural crops. 6 items, application of the theories and principles of psychometrics, heat transfer, and thermodynamics, and others. And the last 8 items falls sa evaluate plans, design, technical specification, and cost estimates, and supervise the operation and maintenance of refrigeration and cold storage systems and facilities for agricultural fishery products. So marami ditong sa nag-fall ng domain ng applying. So marami din tayo situational problems na may encounter na magko-compute ka, na mag-decide ka, mga decision making. So yan, pinakamataas ang processing. And module 5 is the food engineering, the last module. So ito ang key topics natin: food processing, food preservation, packaging system, food storage, food distribution, GMP, SSOP, HACCP, EMP, and food plant operation. So it has 4%, contributes 4% to the board exam, which equivalent to 11 items or 11 questions, wherein 8 items ay nag-fall sa category na apply principles of engineering and sciences to food manufacturing operations, including the processing, production, drying, handling, storing, preserving, control packaging, and distribution of food products. And the other 3 items or 3 questions sa analyze process flows agricultural products with application of the theories and principles of GMP, SSOP, EMP, HACCP, and among others. So pinakamataas dito yung recall sa part na to sa food engineering. So maraming terminologies, maraming definition of terms, pero meron pa ring understanding and applying. So all in all, Area 3 has 36% of your board exam rating, with total of 100 questions. Falling in sa remembering, meron tayong 17 question, 13 questions sa understanding. Again, 50 question for applying, 11 for analyzing, 7 for evaluating, and 2 for creating. So as you can notice, so Area 1, Area 2, Area 3, pare-parehas po silang may 50 questions under applying. So kalahati ng board exam ay nagfo-fall talaga sa application. So yung mga situation kasi nga, papunta na tayo sa professional life. So kailangan magaling na tayo mag-analyze, magaling tayo mag-apply ng mga information na na-gather natin, mga information na natutunan natin na kaya na natin siyang i-apply sa mga situation na kahaharapin natin as an engineer. Okay, so how should you prepare and take the exam? So first is understand the exam coverage. So ito na yung papasok yung tanong na ano ba yung dapat kong unahing pag-aralan? So among others, tayo lang yung pinaka nakakakilala sa sarili natin. Tayo yung may alam. Ano na yung alam natin? Ano na sa exam coverage yung naiintindihan natin ng pinakamadami or pinaka-gets natin. So, pwede nang alam natin yung coverage, alam natin yung weakness natin, pagka alam natin yung coverage, di ba? Alam natin, saan ba ako mahina? Alin ba yung pinaka nahihirapan ako? So, pag alam na natin yung exam coverage, so, makagawa tayo ng study plan kasi na-assess na natin yung sarili natin. Okay, mahina ako sa area 2. Kailangan ko mag-focus sa area 2. So, makakagawa na tayo ng study plan, ilang oras yung i-allocate ko for this subject, ilang oras for this, gaano katagal ba dapat ako mag-review sa loob ng isang araw, sa loob ng isang linggo. Next is review the core concepts. Yung mga basics, yung mga fundamentals, hindi natin yan pwedeng i-skip na, okay, basic lang naman yan. Pwede ko na yung magpag-aralan. Pero again, kailangan natin ng matibay na foundation. Next is practice problem solving. Ganyan yung ginawa namin na pagre-review ng mga kaibigan ko. Ang ginagawa as, nagta-time kami. So, kasi di ba may time limit lang naman for board exam. So, 654, 6 hours for day 1, then 5 for area 2, and then for the last subject. So practice na kayo na naka-timer na mag-practice kayo ng kayo ng 100 item na quiz or na practice problems na orasan niyo na yung sarili niyo na para masanay kayo kasi pagdating ng board exam strict talaga sa time na pagka time na talaga hindi pwedeng kagaya sa school na pa-extend po 5 minutes 10 minutes sa board exam pag sinabing time's up na lalapitan ka na ng proctor kasi hindi rin sila pwedeng mag-extend ng time kasi may hinahabol din na release date ng result ng board exam. So ayan, lalo na sa area 2 mahahaba yung computation, kailangan ma-practice natin yung the shortest possible time na accurate pa rin yung nakukuha nating sagot, na tama pa rin yung ating nako-compute. Next is join study groups. Sabi nga, no man is an island. So join tayo, mas masarap mag-aral pag may kasama. 'Di ba? Yung mga magbabarkada na iba-iba po kami ng ng study habit. Pero 'di ba? Mas masaya pag magkakasama kayo. Unlike pagka nasa bahay ka lang, tapos makita mo yung kama mo. So, parang tinatawag ka ng kama, huwag ka na mag-review, matulog ka na lang. Unlike pag nasa study group ka, di ba? Na makikita mo sila, nag-aaral sila, parang sisipagin ka rin, di ba? Gaganahan ka rin mag-aral. At saka, iba-iba kayo ng weaknesses, iba-iba kayo ng strength. So, you can have sharing of knowledge. Po? Next, prepare mentally and physically. So, kailangan hindi lang tayo physically prepared, kailangan mentally prepared din tayo. Or hindi rin naman pwedeng mentally prepared lang tayo, pero physically exhausted naman tayo. Na sobrang hapit natin sa pagre-review, yung mentalidad natin na papasa ako sa board exam, yun na yung mentality mo. Pero yung physical fitness mo naman na nasobrahan ka na sa review, sa board exam ka naman bumigay na. Although you are mentally prepared, hindi kinaya ng katawan mo, baka lalo kang mapasama na mag-collapse ka na lang bigla habang nagbo-board exam. Ano? So, kailangan balance yung mentality and physicality natin. And lastly, take the exam strategically. So, kanya-kanya tayo ng strategy. Kung ano yung strategy nyo na nag-work sa inyo, anuhin nyo, i-keep nyo yun. And kung may mapupulot kayo sa iba na strategy or tips and techniques, pwede nyo rin siyang i-apply. Ang masasabi ko lang dito sa take the exam strategically is, lagi niyong tatandaan, ang tanong ay dinesign para sagutin, hindi para tanungin. So, pag nakita niyo yung tanong, huwag niyo siyang tanungin kasi lalo kayo malilito. Sagutin niyo lang yung mga tanong. And yung iba kasi ang ginagawa nila, inuuna nila yung mahihirap na part para yung madadali is mahabol nila sa part na kahit kukunti na yung time kaya nilang sagutan. Or yung iba naman, inuuna nila yung mababilis, yung alam na agad nila, and then babalikan na lang yung mga mahihirap na part. So, whatever strategy works for you, you can do it. Hindi naman natin pwedeng ipilit yung strategy ng iba sa sarili natin. Ano po? And as a reminder, so dreams will only stay dreams unless you act upon it. So kahit gaano kataas yung pangarap natin, kung hindi tayo kumikilos, walang action, hindi siya magiging reality. Magi-stay lang siya as our dream. So I think that's all for this morning. Yeah. Thank you for listening mga bayaw. Thank you for joining us today, and ayun po. That's my presentation. Thank you po.
Ayan, thank you very much, Bayaw Jorin, for that very informative and insightful discussion. So, bigyan naman natin siya ng virtual clap, mga Bayaws. So, ayan. So, indeed, understanding and structure of coverage ng ABE licensure examination is one of the most important step on becoming a licensed agricultural and biosystems engineers. So now, sa mga may questions, may mga clarifications, and anything na pwede nyo itanong sa ating lecturer ay pwedeng ma-accommodate through the chat sa ating Zoom and then sa ating comment section sa ating FB Live. So sa mga pwede namang magtanong through, you can raise your hand or virtual hand if you wish to directly ask the question to our lecturer. So, ayan mga bayaws. So, yan. Any question? So, may mga questions. Check natin sa ating FB Live.
And as a reminder, so dreams will always stay dreams.
Ayan, may tanong dito sa chat, Bayaw Jurin. Good day po, baka pwede po makahingi ng soft copy po ng presentation. Yun.
Ay, sige po, magbibigay po kami ng copy po ng presentation po.
And just so you know mga bayaws, available din yung copy ng ating 2S. I think, search nyo lang sa PRC website ng ABE. And available din siya online. Yung buong PDF copy. Actually, yung signed copy ngayon. Yung nasa...
Yes po, available naman po siya online. And if you want the presentation po, we can give it din po.
Yes. And then, meron ako na note dito kanina doon sa, it's a good discussion kasi nauna si Bayaw na magsabi ng mga requirements. So, as one of the review coordinator din ng university namin, sa Isabela State University, isa sa mga hinanap nagkaroon kami ng problem back then sa mga, just say for example, graduate ng mga later years before the nagbigay yung CHED ng mga maging requirement ang COPC sa board exam. So yung mga ma-returning, for example, yung mga nag-graduate nung mga later years like before the pandemic, ganon. Tapos gusto nyo mag-board exam this year or yon in the next coming years, you should prepare of course yung copy ng COPC kasi yun yung mga bumalik yung mga student namin, nakapila sila sa PRC and then bumalik sila sa university para kumuha ng copy ng COPC, yung certificate yon, certificate of program compliance. So yun, so important yon. Bayaw, graduate po ako ng 2010. Need ko pa po ba ng refresher? Refresher.
Ayun po,
2010.
parang based naman po sa ating law ay wala naman pong nakalagay na need mag-refresher pagka matagal nang gumraduate. If I'm not mistaken po, ay pwede po nating i-recall din. Pero ang alam ko ay magre-refresher lang pagka 3 consecutive times po nag-fail. So if first time nyo po mag-take, I think hindi naman po need ng refresher. Kailangan lang po yung requirements po na nabanggit kanina. Parang yun
Yes.
po.
O gaya niyan, mga bayaw, yung sa 2010, pwede rin i-ready mo lang yung copy mo kunin mo yung copy ng COPC sa school kasi siguro noong 2010 hindi pa sila naka-apply for COPC and then ngayon mag-a-apply ka for PRC, hahanapin yun ba yan? Yun. Yan.
Ayan, sabi
Question.
niya ay 5 times. Bale, parang wala pa po yata sa atin kasi nag-o-offer ng refresher. So, parang ang naging solution po doon is may 1 year break lang po from taking the board exam. Halimbawa po, yung 5 times po na consecutive, tigil lang po muna ng 1 year na kumbaga ban po from taking the board exam and then the following year, halimbawa po, hindi po kayo nag-take last 2025. So, ngayon 2026 naman po is mapapayagan ng board exam. If, yan, yun po yung nabasa ko po na binigyan nila since wala pa pong nag-o-offer ng refresher course for ABE po.
Yes, doon kasi sa website din ng PRC Bayaw, if you kapag click mo, just say for example doon sa LERIS natin, may magpapakita doon na ito sa experience lang, may magpapakita na kumukuha siya or nire-require kanyang kumuha ng certificate of refresher course. Sa LERIS kasi may automatic na pipindutin nag-appear kung sakaling ganun yung case nyo. Magpapakita doon na certificate of refresher course. And then ang ginawa ng mga reviews, nag-report sila sa PRC para i-coordinate yun kasi wala namang implementing rules and regulation pa na nagsasabi na kung sino ang magbibigay ng certificate of refresher course. Kaya hindi rin siya in-acknowledge. Basta sinabi lang na nagpahinga siya ng 1 taon bago ulit nag-take. Kung tatlong consecutive yung yung ginawang board exam, magpahinga lang ng 1 taon. Ganun. Questions pa po? Hello, parang problem sa ating FB Live. Pwede po kayong magtanong dito sa ating... Wala nang question. Magtanong na kayo ngayon ba yan? Yan, napakaganda ng discussion ni Bayaw. Congratulations and thank you for that insightful nadagdagan na naman ang ating mga ideas kung paano tayo mag-prepare sa ating board exam. Ayan, sabi ni Bayaw. Mary. Okay, 2 years ago na Bayaw, so pwede na pala. So nagpahinga siya ng 2 years. Yes, Bayaw. Pwede yan.
Pwede na.
Laban lang. So, ayan, kung wala na po, kung wala nang question, so I think we have to wait. Ano ba yan? Ayan. So, before we go to the next part, Bayaw Elaine, pa-assist naman ako doon sa ating attendance QR code.
Meron po yata si Sis Jo Marin.
Ayan, Sis
Okay.
Jomar. So, or lagay na lang natin sa ating comment section.
Wait lang
And,
po. Kunin ko lang po yung link.
Yes po, send na lang po sa comment section.
yes, and sa comment section. So, ayan, while waiting for the attendance, so, ayan. At this point, we'd like to express our sincerest appreciation, of course, to our distinguished lecturer for sharing her time, expertise, and invaluable insights. So, may we invite everyone to witness the virtual presentation of Certificate of Appreciation to Engineer Jorin Angela C. Estrada. So, as I read the citation for the of the certificate, so, ayan. So, while waiting for the sa attendance natin. So, ayan. Scan QR code. Ayan yung attendance natin. So, pa-scan na lang. And then, yan. So, as I read the citation of the certificate, Philippine Society of Agricultural and Biosystems Engineers, Young Engineers Section, Bayanihan, Tulong para sa Pangarap ni Bayaw. Certificate of Appreciation. The certificate is presented to Engineer Jomarin Angela G. Estrada for sharing knowledge, expertise, and experience together with his valuable time and effort as our lecturer during the conduct of Bayanihan 2026 Lecture Abele Overview Table of Specification held via Zoom and FB Live. Given this 25th day of July 2026, signed Engineer Elingin R. Corpus, our president of PISABE Young Engineers Section. So, bigyan naman natin siyang masigabong palakpakan, mga bayaws. So, ayan. So, maraming salamat, Bayaw Jorin. And, ayan. Before we officially conclude today's program, we will invite everyone to stay on our virtual group photo. So, paki-open naman po ang ating camera, mga bayaws. Pa-open naman po ng ating camera, mga bayaws. Bayaw Elaine, hindi ka ba mag-screen capture?
Ako na lang po mag-capture ba?
Ah.
Okay po. So, hindi pa po naka-open yung iba.
Yes.
But anyway, let's check. Okay? Ready po tayo? Ayan. In 3, 2, 1, page 1 po muna out of 100. Char.
Ang
Okay
dami.
po. So, 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, another po. 1, 2, 3, smile po. Okay, last. Ayan. 1, 2, 3, smile. And for the last page, 1, 2, 3, smile. All right.
Ayan. Thank you very much.
Po.
So, ayan. So, on behalf of Bayanihan organizing team headed by our president of PISA-BS, Elenjin Corpus, and all the organizing team, thank you for all the participants for your active participation. So, we hope that today's lecture has provided you with a clearer understanding of ABELE and has inspired you to continue preparing with determination and confidence. So, always remember, success in the board examination is not determined by luck, but by discipline, preparation, perseverance, and faith. To all future agricultural and biosystems engineers, wish you all the best on your review journey, and andito lang ang Bayanihan para tumulong at mag-guide sa inyo. So, have a wonderful day everyone, and God bless. Yan. Thank you po.
All right. Thank you po sa bayawnihan. Walang maiiwan. Thank you mga bayaws.
Thank you.
Don't forget to fill out po yung ating attendance sheet.
Yes, and see you in another lecture discussions next week, I think.
By filling out our attendance sheet, you will be able po na makakuha ng ating mga materials.
Yes.
All right.
So, ayan. Bye. Have a great
Bye, bayaws.
Thank you so much po sa pag-attend.
Thank you, Sis Jo Marine. Thank you, Bayaw EA. Thank you, Dennis.
Bayaw Cam. Thank you.
Ayun, Papsi. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bayaw.
po.
From MSU Jensen. Si Bayaw
Yes,
Setjan. Ayan, thank you po.
Yan, thank
And
you.
all the bayaws natin.